All right, see if that's coming through now. Let me know if that does come through. Boom. Open Discord. Okay, yeah, I just turned the audio on my phone and it sounds like it's coming through now. All right, cool. All right, so going live. Boom. All right, so I am going to. First off, I figured I was just going to do this from scratch. So we're going to go. I'm not going to show you the account creation process because I don't want my information taken, but this is supposed to be super easy to do. So looking to join. There we go. So, all right, we're going to click next. You can click how fast. All right, maybe I should show some of this. Let me see here. Window capture. What is this on? Properties. There we go. I'm just going to pop this up real quick and then we will jump back. So when you're starting out here, you can select how fast you want to learn. 8 years, 6 years, 4 years, 2 years, or 1 year. Now I'm going to put mine at 1 year just because of having a base in Japanese and just kind of seeing what is going on. So next. All right, enter your email address. You guys know my, oh, this is a name, sorry, Jonathan Seabolt. Email address, you guys know my email address, so not that big of a deal. Password, okay, this doesn't show. Boom, and agree to terms and service. Click finish. Did it work? Let's try again. Oh, email is already in use. Okay. Let me go here then. Let me try signing in. Okay. All right. I apparently have an account. All right. So now that this is up, let me. Cool. I did not know I had an account, but apparently I do. So we are going to pull video capture here. Oops, don't need that there because I gotta have the Patreons there. Where is my video capture? Gonna pop it up and put it right. Okay, here. There we go. I'm gonna drag it over here. Boom. Shrink it down a little bit so you guys can still see. There we go. You don't need to see that much of me. Let me drag this window because I want it to be. I don't know what I just dragged. OBS is weird. There we go. All right, we are going to shrink that down so you guys can see a majority of the window because that's kind of an important thing. Bam, and I think that is about all you need. Okay, so let's kind of look around here and see. Obviously, the core point of this is to learn Japanese. But obviously with anything, I want to check out the interface and kind of see. So I set the thing at 1 year, as I mentioned, just because I want to learn Japanese. And I feel like a lot of this stuff in the beginning is stuff that I'm going to already know. So, all right, now manage subscription. I just want to go in here and make sure you have a 7-day of premium, because I wanted to test the premium out because there's light, basic, and premium, and when you go to view details, which the light gets you everything, and then if you go basic, you get kana quizzes, shadow loops, which I'm not sure what that means. I see that NativShark is in here, so I just wonder if they can type anything. You might want to get a pass. I don't use the same password for everything, but NativShark. I see that they're in here, and I'm just wondering. I'm assuming shadow loops is literally exactly what it says. Once you learn a sentence or something of that nature, it loops it, or there is the ability to loop it in order to get the. Is this solely a Japanese site? Yes, I believe. To be able to shadow it. Advanced stats, which I'm anxious to You'll have to set it back to 1 year before it starts the system. Okay. And then with premium, actually, there's some stuff that I want to look at because I was looking at some of the videos, and this looks cool. Like there's a pitch visualizer and stuff like that, custom flashcards. So there's some cool stuff that I would definitely like to see. So let's go on this page. You can edit your personal information. Okay. Adjust your preference. Okay. I always set my preferences earlier because sometimes there are times I study after midnight and I don't want that to go into the next day or something. So I usually do set my Anki is actually set to where 4 p.m. is the set off there. Okay, let's just go back to NativShark. Let me see here. There's a shadow loop player to work on the pronunciation and such. Yeah, that seems like it's going to be cool. All right, so we're going to set this not recommended unless you're up for a big challenge. Okay, so current progress is 0, days studied 0 of 1. I've never touched this program. Unit 1. So I'm wondering how much of this is going to be a lot of repeat information for me, but we're gonna find out. So as you can see, there's a bunch of stuff upcoming. Serious student, you have a general idea of how Japanese sentences work, and you might have a wide variety of travel. Okay, so you can actually jump ahead. So if phase 1. This looks like it's going to be predominantly perhaps hiragana katakana based, but let me see. Currently only Japanese. We fully intend on bringing other languages in 2021. Yeah, that'll be cool. I'm anxious to see. All right, so you can now read and understand Japanese characters, and you've gotten survival phrases down. Okay, maybe start here. Can you start anywhere? Okay, you might be able to start anywhere. So, Kanji learner, this will be big. Okay, let's just go up here. I'm just going to hit start studying. We're going to just see what the first thing is right off the bat, and we'll just go from there. Building your study plan. Here we go. Why are you not using Anki and immersing like MIA recommends? I'm confused. Did you stop following MIA? Why would you think I stopped following MIA? Because for 10 seconds I've been on a different website. I've literally done MIA for 4.5 months. That's a ridiculous comment. Welcome to your student dashboard. Let's go. All right. Study now. There's an overview of your studies today. Okay. Let's check that out. Current phase. This shows your current progress and recent study history. Oh, what's this? Hi, Seabolt. Hey, what's going on, Cloudy? Howdy. It's a website called NativShark, and just trying out some stuff. This keeps track of how much time you study. Okay, cool. This leads to more in-depth view of study statistics. And my path provides an overview of all your upcoming units and milestones all the way. Just want to chime in and say that a lot of our community does NativShark and MIA, myself included. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I don't understand. If I spend a day or just an hour doing this and I'm still, I don't know. Okay. My path provides, okay, all the coming episodes. You can click a study unit to see what's inside. All right. That's it. So let's get started. Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with this. I mean, it's teaching me Japanese. There's not much difference in this. It's going through a system, and if you're still immersing, it's okay. All right, let's go. Study. All right. So NativShark content is divided into 4 phases. Phases are divided into units, which include activities like lessons, dialogues, and so on. Oh wow, studying Japanese. It's almost like that's what I've been doing for 4.5. All right, I'm not gonna let. I'm going off on that comment, and I don't mean to, but that was just that comment really bothered me. Just looks like. How does it look like some sort of Duolingo to you? I've not even started it. That doesn't make any sense. Just wanted to chime in and say that it's a lot of our. Okay, I read that. I swear this channel informs me of so many things I would never know about otherwise. What's up, Mark? If it looks like, if it's, I mean, Just there's no. If you've used it before and it looks like Duolingo, that's fine. But you can't say that based on my video because I've literally not used the product yet. Like it's not on here yet. All right, let's go. Writing kana. All right, this will be cool just to see kind of how it teaches. All right, so the Japanese writing system has 3 types of characters: hiragana, katakana, and kanji. Okay. We'll start by learning hiragana and katakana, which are collectively referred to as the kana. Feel free to think of these as the Japanese alphabet. Got it. I do know those, but we are going to see. All right, it looks like they're using some sort of mnemonics, or not mnemonics, but like pictographs to, do it. All right, so every time we introduce a new kana, we'll show you a hand-drawn picture to help you remember it. For example, when we learn hiragana character we'll see this picture. Yeah, this is actually, I know a lot of people, so just to go against the idea that this is not MIA approved for the dude who commented that, I know a lot of people who have done MIA that use the Dr. Moku's to learn hiragana, which is teaching with pictographs. So this looks like it's right in line. The character will then be drawn on top of the picture. If you're practicing with a pen or paper, be sure to write the strokes in the same order. We'll also show you the English letters that most closely represent the sound of the kana, which in this case would be We then show you an English word containing a similar sound that represents the meaning of the picture. In this case, the word would be father, which has a similar sound. An audio file will play with the correct pronunciation. Yeah, and I like that because it's telling you the most closely related sound. It's not telling you, because again, not to go on to that comment, that dude's just going to unsubscribe to my channel, but just to go on that, in Duolingo, they tell you A is this, and this is telling you this is the closest sound, but it's probably also still not the same sound because it's a different language. What's up? I love your comment. Are you familiar with the wrestler Asuka of WWE? I am. I do follow her. She has a YouTube channel also, which is cool. Do you recommend NativShark? I'm not sure. That's what we're about to find out. It's not forcing you to do early. No, I don't think it's forcing me to do early lessons. I just wanted to jump into the beginning just to get started. I'm gonna go to. I'm going to go to a different exercise after this. I just wanted to do the first one just out of the gate just to see what it was from the beginning. Okay. Especially seeing how they teach hiragana. So, okay, here we go. Japanese has 5 basic vowels. A, I, U, E, O. A is like, see, again, is like the in father. It doesn't say it's exact. It just says it's like. It's the closest represented sound. Currently, you can skip the kana, but the lessons are done in linear fashion, though we are working on a good way on board. Well, I mean, yeah, I don't mind that. So we'll see how it goes. And I'm perfectly fine. If I can skip through the kana section and just go right into that next part, that'll be perfectly fine, I think, for the stream. E is like the E in eel. Eel. Okay. Eel. E. U is like the U sound in tune, but don't purse your lips. U. Ooh, E is somewhere close to the E in egg. O is like the O in ocean. We'll learn these one at a time. Prioritizing the native audio. Note that the English words and letters we use to represent the sounds of kana are approximations. Looks like yet again another vastly superior to Duolingo thing. Okay. All right. Let's see. Currently, you can skip. Okay, I read that. Just trying to get you to focus. Don't waste your time on kana if you're doing MI for 4 months. So I love you so much. You're my favorite YouTuber. I'm not trying to rag you, man. I just, I know. I just think that it was just a funny comment, and because that's a lot. There's a lot of people in the not MIA necessarily, but just any language learning circle in general. Like, oh, you were doing this, and now you're doing something. I guess you've completely fallen off, and that's not the case. So, I appreciate you for sticking around. You could have unsubscribed and not watched after that because I did kind of just vent there for a minute. But anyway, and I'm going to skip the kana. I just wanted to I just wanted to see how they go about teaching it. Note that the English words and letters we use to represent the sounds of kana are approximately... Okay, be careful to only mimic the sound you hear in the audio file, which may differ slightly from the letter showing in English. Great explanation. For example, earlier I said sounds like the in father, but that is only true for English speakers from particular regions. the fact that, in fact, ah is one of the most mispronounced sounds in the language, especially among native speakers of British English. Yeah, I could see that. Copy the sounds in the audio and you should be fine.
Ah.
Ah. Oh, yeah, it's very short. Okay. Ah. Ah. Can you replay? Oh, is this?
Ah.
There we go. And it teaches the stroke order. That's pretty sweet, actually.
Ah.
Okay.
E.
E. Oh, I didn't notice this in the original picture. That's the E is it's over eel, like two eels in the water. That's actually cool.
E.
E. E.
E.
E. All right.
Ooh.
Ooh. I don't even know what that is. It's like a colon, semicolon, or like apostrophe or something. Ooh. Or I guess that's the musical notes up there, so I guess it's something to do with tune. Hello, hello, hypothetical tiger, welcome. I'm going to tell you, I did not expect a spur-of-the-moment stream to have 30 people watching at the same time. Thank you, everybody, for joining. All right, ooh.
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 It.
It's like a broken egg. I like that pictograph a lot.
It. Oh.
Oh. There's a shark and a fish in this water, so it's clearly an ocean. That's cool. Oh.
Oh.
Oh. Off to a great start. Let's do a small quiz. Okay.
It.
Boom. E.
E.
All right. Ooh.
Ooh.
Dope. Ah.
Ah.
Ah. Oh.
Oh.
Congratulations, you just encountered all the basic vowel sounds. Okay. Boom. Oh, wait, is this starting a new... Hold on. Before each lesson, we summarize the way that we can prep our minds to learn this new information. Okay. Sumimasen is used when you want to say excuse me or I'm sorry. It is a highly useful word to know when you're traveling or living in Japan. Sumimasen. Okay. Okay, so there's like some notes and stuff here. NativShark lessons are laid out. Okay, so it's almost still like going through a tutorial. Currently you can skip, just trying to get you to focus. Hello. I was doing a last minute YouTube check before bed. Oh, thanks for joining. I appreciate that. All right, so this is, oh, it skipped down. Hold on. I like that there's like this, like almost like grammar notes type of situation here. We teach Japanese words and concept using example sentences. Great idea. When sentences contain characters we haven't seen yet, we teach them. This is in addition to the kana learning activity we did earlier. You can interact with these images, then play the stroke order and the sound when pressed. Oh, okay, I'll test that in just a second. Sentences contain Japanese the way native speakers write it. Okay, that's cool. Because I have noticed in some stuff where they will... especially like konnichiwa and stuff, they'll use the wa, even though it is pronounced wa, but it's the ha symbol. So it's pretty cool. We'll see. The system will guide you through your entire day. So as you finish one part of the unit, it will automatically take you to the next step. Okay, cool. It's to remove the need to think about what you were supposed to be doing next. That's an awesome. I like that too. So all right, so we're gonna click next here. Then we have at least one translation in natural English. Okay, I like that. We include a literal meaning for each word in the sentence. Native audio spoken at natural speed improves our listening comprehension. Sounds like a great idea. The formality marker tells us whether the sentence is formal or casual. Okay, I'm digging it so far. Sentences don't need to be memorized in lessons because they'll show up later in flashcards too. That's awesome as well. When you're finished reading a lesson, mark how well you understood it and click complete. Last thing before we get started, you can use this menu to adjust how the lessons look or to view a list of all kana characters. Okay. All right, now you're ready for some light lesson reading. All right, I'm going to go through this and then I'm going to skip ahead just because I want to test out some of the features that they were talking about, and then we will go from there. So how to say excuse me. This is something that I already know, but we're going to go through it just to see, because this is, teaching basic stuff to people. So let's see how this would be taught. So I get this idea. I'm going to go visit fill in the blank country, and it's going to be the greatest thing, but I don't speak fill in the blank language. Luckily, I have a genius 5-step plan to get around this. Buy a phrase book or travel language course. Fantasize about chatting it up with native speakers. Study, read nothing. Go to the country, suffer. I've repeated this process more times than I'd care to admit. Your experience can be different. To get started, we can learn. The most useful Japanese travel phrase. If I could teach you one single phrase to learn before an upcoming trip to Japan, it would be sumimasen.
すみません。
すみません。
Sumimasen. Okay. Sumimasen.
すみません。
All right, he's okay. Sumimasen. Hang on a second. I don't know how to read or pronounce Japanese yet. Sorry about that. While our Kana tool will teach you the pronunciation and writing system of the Japanese letter, we'll also examine these characters the first time each of them appears in a lesson, as you'll see below. Unlike languages with a lot of vowel sounds, English, Japanese only has a handful of them, five of them to be exact. Okay, yeah, that's the pronunciation. Rather than memorize all of this, all you need to do is listen to the native audio that we have included beneath each phrase included in our lesson, copy those voices, and you'll be good. Above, we saw the 5 hiragana characters that make up the word sumimasen.
す、
Nice. That's actually...
す、
I still struggle with the su character, like writing.
み、
Me,
ま、
ma. Oh, it's like markers. Okay, that's cool. Oh, that's literally the word right there. Sorry.
せ、
Set. Celery stalk.
うん、
All right. Generally speaking, the sound of the Japanese can be divided into syllables. That usually consists of a consonant-vowel combo. For example, su, mi, ma, se all start with a consonant and end with a vowel. One exception to this is the n sound, which is the only standalone consonant in Japanese. It is also possible for vowels to appear without a consonant, as with a, for example. Sumimasen.
すみません。
すみません。
What? No clue. Need to squeeze past someone when you're getting off the train. Sumimasen. Need to get waiter's attention. Sumimasen. Excuse me isn't the perfect translation because it's certain situations. I'm sorry would be more accurate. For example, you could even say sumimasen if you rolled your luggage over someone's foot at the station. Okay. Sumimasen is used when you want to say excuse me or I'm sorry. It's highly useful. It's a highly useful word to know when traveling or living in Japan. Key phrase. Sumimasen. Let's see what this right here is. Highlights? I don't know what that's taken off. Oh, okay, highlights. It's highlighting the... Okay. Hiragana, which you would not see in this lesson because there's no kanji. Okay. Kana mnemonics. Which I figured would be... Figured would be those, but I don't know. Okay. View hiragana cable, katakana table. Okay. And, alright, cool. So, I understood that perfectly because I know that, and we're going to click complete. And then core vowel sounds, new progression badge, I, U, E, O. Okay. Let me see, what do we got over here? The stroke order is actual handwriting of our lead artist who's a Japanese native, so authentic stroke order. Oh, that's super cool. That's good to know. Kana mnemonics is still bugged. Okay, cool. Well done. Well done. You completed your first unit. The first 21 units are progression unlocked, meaning whether you have your pace slider on or off, you can go through them at your own pace to get a feel for NativShark content. I like that. I can understand why they would want you to slow down too, like to make sure that you're getting everything. Okay, so I think this is going into the next lesson, and I'm gonna back out of that. I just wanted to go through that first little bit to see kind of what was going on, and then okay, yeah, so that's completed, and that is the kana, I would presume, all of the kana there. Which at some point, if I continuing down this, I'll probably go back and do it just to have the milestone done. Is it the first 23 units? Is that what it said? You can now read and understand Japanese characters, and you've gotten survival phrases down. So let's just start here and let's see what's in here. Can I just jump into this? How do I do it? Okay. All right, cool. So here we go. Okay. The kana, which is the collective name of hiragana and katakana, don't take all that long to learn. Kanji require a more significant time commitment. You might have guessed that just by looking at the characters shown above. The characters kanji. Okay, so this is where the furigana thing. Okay. All right, cool. I'm going to leave it on for now, but that makes sense. Looks a lot more complex than those hiragana or katakana. Currently, at the moment, all units are done in a linear fashion. Okay. I mean, it makes sense. Build on one another. I mean, that makes sense to me. Hiragana, katakana represent sounds. They have no meaning on their own, like the letter of the alphabet in English. Kanji represents both meanings and a variety of sounds. Oh, yes. Kanji tend to scare people. Some old-fashioned teachers and a lot of clickbait articles writers love to play up the fact that a large number of kanji exists. Japanese is impossible to learn. There are over 50,000 different characters. The first 22 lessons can be done all at once. Okay, gotcha. Yes, tens of thousands exist. No, you don't need to learn that many. Japanese high school students are required to learn about 2,200 kanji characters. Over the course of a person's life, they learn a fair deal more than that, as random characters do pop up here and there. Generally speaking, you only need to learn about 1,800 of them in order to communicate with most Japanese texts. In one sitting, then the pace slider kicks in. Okay. Significant amount of time. The site looks pretty slick so far. Yeah, it's very sleek. Note that I'm using the term learn rather loosely. We'll define it more specifically. Okay, why does Japanese have 3 types of characters? This is cool. So it's going into a little bit of the history and stuff like that. So it's not just jumping in. I like this information. The illustration Empress Suiko, depicted above, sent a bunch of her minions to China back around 600 AD. Said minions brought back stuff with characters on it. That's why the Chinese word for Chinese characters, Hanzu, is the same as the Japanese word for Chinese characters, Kanji. Okay. And then Hanzu becomes... Okay, in simplified Chinese, gotcha. You're probably starting to guess why written Japanese is a bit all over the place. They took Chinese characters and tried to smash Japanese into them. Then, later, they added some of their own characters, hiragana and katakana, so it all make a bit more sense. That's true, man. The only other thing I've really ever heard people talk about like that is they talk about how English, like, we basically just took an alphabet and tried to make our words exist around it, and it just doesn't work very well. Why don't they just do away with kanji? Valid question. There are a few reasons. First, Japanese has no spaces, so it would be very hard to read it without kanji. That is very true. Which makes it much easier to tell where one word starts and another one begins. This will make sense once you've been exposed to a number of sentences. So add spaces then. If Japanese were only written using kana with spaces, then there would be a ton of homonyms, words that are spelled the same but have different meanings. This isn't so much of a problem of spoken Japanese thanks to situational context and things like intonation, but it would be problematic with written Japanese. I still think written Japanese works fine without kanji. I still think written Japanese would work fine without kanji. Maybe, but you'll be hard-pressed to find a Japanese person who feels this way. Part of it might be that they like being able to read something that is widely considered to be very difficult, or perhaps they just find kanji aesthetically pleasing, which many people do. I'm sorry, I almost died there. Kanji are not words. A word can consist of a single kanji, multiple kanji, a mix of kanji and hiragana katakana, or only hiragana katakana, i.e. no kanji. So, okay, eigo wakarimasu ka?
英語わかりますか?
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 英語わかりますか? Formal. An order of tuna, please.
マグロください。
Oh my god.
マグロください。
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 Maguro kudasai. Okay. I've never seen the word for tuna before. Maguro. In short, kanji are not always used consistently. Some words almost always use kanji, like eigo, English language, and skoshi, a little bit. Now, does it have pronunciation for this? Okay, it doesn't. That's cool, though. Other words are only written using kanji sometimes. That's why you'll often see wakarimasu written as wakarimasu. Then there are words that can be written with kanji, but almost never are. For example, the word kore. This is almost always written using hiragana, but can also be written at... Okay, I don't think I knew that, so there we go. Kore. See, lastly, various factors can lead to a certain word being written either in hiragana, katakana, or kanji. That's where the word for tuna, like you would order at a sushi restaurant, can be written magura, or magura. Okay. Basically, the usage of the kanji depends not only on the words themselves, but also on the situation in which they are appearing, the person using them, all kinds of factors. For example, I said that you'll almost always see skoshi written with the kanji included, but if a friend is texting you on an app or something, they may very well just use the hiragana skoshi. Okay. Kanji do not necessarily have a single meaning. Tabe is one of the first kanji students of Japanese get used to seeing because it is using the word taberu. Oh, it's ta, I'm sorry. Okay. I said tabe because taberu, which is the verb for to eat. So tabe means eat, yeah? This kind of thinking leads to problems because if we chose a single meaning for the kanji character, words often show up in which that meaning doesn't seem to be exactly right. In the pronunciation audio for all the Japanese lessons coming down the line soon. Okay, cool. That's cool. That'll be awesome. Yeah, so like what he's saying, so like right here, there will be pronunciations for these highlighted words that it's showing you. That'll be really cool. What is up, Ethan? Welcome to the stream here. Okay. This word consists of two kanji. Oh wait, did I skip over something? Okay, for example, sure, tabe or tat means eat in the verb taberu, but what about when it appears in the word teishoku? Oh, teishoku, which refers to a type of set meal that you will encounter at some restaurant. Yeah, teishoku. I actually learned that in the Tango deck. Is Magura or Maguro? I think it's Maguro. Maguro. Yomi-chan says Maguro. Yep, Maguro. A more confusing example would be a kanji like boom. Okay. If you look up blank kanji meadow, yeah, wow, there's a free rep for RTK next time. Meadow. If you look up the kanji blank in a kanji dictionary, the meaning will be all over the place: meadow, original, field, plain, prairie, etc. The reason for all this disparity is that the meaning, if we can even call it that, shifts between different words. The character does appear to have a meaning like original when it shows up in the word genin. Okay, cause, origin, source, a word that is composed of of the kanji, which means something along the lines of cause or factor. Then it suddenly changes close before showing up in the word no. I need to enlarge my screen, I think. Hold on. There we go. My eyes are bad. That's not the. I don't think that's the website. I literally think my eyes are just. I have trouble seeing sometimes. Nohara. No. Okay. Field. Plain. Picture a large expanse of green grass. The first kanji in that word is this kanji, which here means something like plains or fields, and in this case, this seems to be carrying a similar meaning of field. Okay. Fun bonus fact. The last name of one of my longtime business colleagues is Ichihara. Maybe his ancestors worked in the market out in a field. Okay. So have to learn a bunch of different meanings for each kanji? No, the point of this whole spiel is not that you need to learn a bunch of stuff. The point is that you try to apply English language concepts of words to letters, to kanji. Your brain is going to get really annoyed at you because your brain actually has no problem codifying the fluid meanings of individual kanji when it sees them being used in Japanese. But when you try to force your brain to pin down exact and worse single meanings for each individual kanji, it becomes both confusing and overwhelming instead. We can just think of kanji as representations of ideas. You'll see what I mean as you progress through Phase 1 studies. Kanji can be pronounced in varying ways. Remember how kanji was originally made for Chinese, not Japanese? Well, as a result, a lot of characters have to wear multiple hats. They show up in words derived from other languages, namely Chinese, and words that originated in Japan. Consequently, one character may be pronounced a number of different ways. These pronunciations are called readings. They are divided into two categories: onyomi readings derived from Chinese and kunyomi readings derived from Japanese. For example, the onyomi of that is te shoku. Shoku. Okay, shoku, yeah. As we see in the word te shoku, set meal. The kunyomi is ta beru, as we see in the word taberu. Okay. Would it be, what is it? Okay, Magoto. Okay. Wait a second. Are you telling, oh wait, hold on. Onyomi Chinese are typically written in katakana when they appear in dictionaries, which is why we wrote shoku, not shoku. Okay, kunyomi native Japanese readings are typically dealing in from the rest of the word in which they appear using a period, which is why we wrote ta beru with a period inside of it to show that ta is the kunyomi of the word taberu. Wait a second, are you telling me I have to learn 2 or more different pronunciations in addition to hard to pin down meanings of 1,800 kanji characters? Kind of, but it sounds worse than it is, honestly. The thing is, studying onyomi and kunyomi is an obscene waste of time, and no student should worry about them. Notice that I said studying and not learning. You will learn the useful onyomi and kunyomi of kanji organically by encountering them in actual words. Yeah, that's what I've been doing in the Tango deck. You will know that ta beru is kunyomi of ta by learning taberu. Similarly, you will learn that shoku is onyomi by learning a word like teishoku, set meal. We've set up NativShark so that this happens quite naturally and without you thinking about it too much. Memorizing kanji readings in isolation is a waste of time. Ta serves as a good example as to why this is the case. If you look up ta in the dictionary, you'll find 2 onyomi, shoku and jiki, and 4 kunyomi, rau, taberu, and hamu. There's no practical way to use this information. Do people actually say these readings? When and what words are they useful words? This is why we provide context for kanji readings while teaching them, which saves you time and makes your Japanese more natural. For the onyomi, shoku appears dozens of times throughout all 4 phases, such as in the word teishoku, set meal. Jiki appears in the word tenjiki, denjiki, fasting, i.e. not eating. Okay. In our phase 3 close-up on the uses of the kanji. Okay. Ku appears in rather crude sounding word ku, to eat. Ku, to eat, when we talk about informal commands in phase 2. Okay. Kurau shows up in the word kurau, to eat, to receive, e.g. a punch, in that very same lesson too. Okay. Taberu shows up in a large number of times in all phases in the verb taberu. Makes sense. Hamu is used in the word hamu, to eat, fodder, grass, etc. But we don't teach this in any of our core lessons at the moment because the word is so obscure. Learning how to pronounce kanji in specific contexts is just one feature of the NativShark approach to kanji, as you will see during your progression. What you need to know about kanji. We just threw a lot of information at you, but here are the key takeaways. Kanji themselves are not words, and they can have varying pronunciation and meanings. Some words contain a single kanji, multiple kanji, or mix of kanji in hiragana and katakana. Alright, so key phrases. Eigo wakarimasu ka? In order of tuna. Tuna. Mokuro kudasai. Mokuro kudasai. Okay. Return to my journey. Alright. Boom. Not started. Okay, so speaking of the Tango deck, where do you actually get the deck from after you purchase the book? You can email Matt, and he will get you. He can get you the deck. All right. Phase 1. So all this is phase 1. Boom. Okay. All right, let me try to burn through. I'm going to try to burn through some of these. Oh, wait, I guess I just need to hit the actual study now. Okay. Let me just try to burn through some of these real quick, and then we'll see what's up. Consonant vowel combos. I'm pretty good with this stuff. Rather than saying hiragana.
Ka, ki, ku, ke, ko.
Say characters, for example, using letter. Okay.
Ka.
If you guys want to ask questions while I'm going through this, I will answer your questions while I'm going through this. I just want to get through some of these lessons. That way I can get into
Ki,
some of the
ku,
ku,
ke, ko.
ko. Voice and unvoice. Ooh, voice. Actually, hold on. But yeah, if you want to ask questions, I can. While you can browse ahead of your current assignment units, you cannot complete lessons and dialogues in advance. We plan to start rolling out phase 2 content in a couple of weeks. Yeah, that's cool. I'm gonna try to burn through some of these kana ones so I can try to get at least a little bit there. Putting 2 little dashes on the top right of the cons voiced seems the consonant changes a bit. In the case of kakikuke ko, the ku. Okay, that's just talking about that. Okay.
Gi, gu, ge, go.
If anyone in the chat has any questions regarding NativShark, we have a couple of members of the team here that would love to answer. Yeah, so if anybody has any questions about this while I'm going through some of these,
Gi,
let us know. Let them know, and they will. I tried Nihongo Shark a while ago. That looks pretty good.
ga,
Yeah, I think it just changed to NativShark recently, I believe.
ku, ko, ka,
Okay.
ke,
Ki.
ki,
Ge.
ge,
Go.
go,
Gu.
gu.
Excellent. And oh, here we go.
赤い
There you go.
秋
All right.
行く
Eco. All right, that's super dope. Complete. All right, so we can get through some of these. How to say sorry. I already did that, I believe. Go on this. Oh, okay. When you want to apologize, sumimasen. Maybe you're riding on a train. Sumimasen. I like the native.
すみません
I like the audio here.
すみません。
I'm sorry.
ごめんなさい
ごめんなさい。
Gomennasai. Oh, wow.
ごめんなさい。
Gomennasai. All right. At the end of 2019. Okay. Yeah, I feel like quarantine has really screwed up my time frame. Because that seemed like when I think of 2019, it's hard to. It's already halfway through August. That doesn't seem real. Excuse me. Mission to Gomen. Okay, yeah. Also, we've got 5 new kanji learned in this lesson. If you bump into an old lady, Gomennasai.
あ、ごめんなさい。
Gomennasai.
あ、ごめんなさい。
Gomennasai. Two. Here we go. How to say sorry a little more casually. Long ago, I was sitting in a lecture at a Japanese language school in Shinjuku in central Tokyo. I'd been waiting to call. Stay that morning because I was trying to get an apartment to move into. Of course, the real estate agent decided to wait and call me When I was in class, I didn't want to be rude, but I also didn't want to miss the call, so I stealthily stepped out of the classroom while the teacher was in the middle of the lecture. When I walked back into the class, the teacher stopped. Someone looked at me. Hey, what was that about? I wanted to say sorry. Accordingly, I should have said "gomenasai."
ごめんなさい。
ごめんなさい。
Instead, I messed up and used the more casual gomen.
ごめん。
Gomen.
ごめん。
She repeated, seemingly in disbelief, on top of the rather rudely leaving the class, right? While she was in the middle of teaching, I came back and used overly casual language when apologizing. Since then, I've been a bit more careful about using more formal gomenasai. That's hilarious. It was another world. Nihongo Shark, is that what you're talking about? Was another world? Or you just or just saying 2019 was a whole different world, like before quarantine? Yeah, for sure. But it's less proper to speak than saying sumimasen. Alright, I know sumimasen. Complete. Yeah, this was actually in a video I watched earlier today. That was one of the things they were talking about. Is first we taught gomenasai and then we taught gomenasai. You'll find that almost never we almost never show you a sentence with more than a single new word in it. When no language goes over your head, no time is wasted. So it's all for the again. This person's gonna kill me one day. For the person that said that why am I not doing MIA blah blah blah? Because I clearly am, but this is teaching you in +1 sentences. So that's literally the definition and the core groundwork of what MIA is. So just to throw that out there. Sumimasen. Sumimasen. Start.
あ、すいません。
あ、ごめんなさい。
Okay. I gotcha. Next. I'm new to this. What does NativShark do? Is it a grammar guide? It's just in general. It just teaches Japanese. I'm going through some of the kana stuff right now because you do kind of have to go through in order. But it teaches you in a +1 manner. That's the thing. I just read it right before you got on. They were talking about how the sentences are like any sentence that you learn is only going to have one new word that you've not encountered yet, and stuff like that. Next, we'll learn. Okay, we're gonna get through this.
し、
She,
す、
su.
せ、
NativShark Japanese only or other languages too. As of right now, it is just Japanese, but they are working on. They want to have more languages in 2021. It's a fully comprehensive language learning platform. Yeah, currently just Japanese. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna ask you, like, since you're obviously I have no pull in this fight. Today on Twitter, and I know that you want to obviously target what's gonna get you the most, bang for your buck, like obviously Spanish and stuff like that. But I was just complaining about how every language platform completely disregards Afrikaans as a language. Like they'll have Klingon, but not Afrikaans. Just an idea, just throwing it out there. Obviously, you're probably going to want to, I'm sure that wouldn't get a lot more, subscribers to your network, so to speak, or whatever it is. But just throwing it out there. I was just saying, Rocket and Co. I was just saying that they were talking about how they teach in basically +1 sentences. Okay.
ざ、
Za,
じ、
ji,
ず、ぜ、
ze,
ぞ、
next.
ざ、せ、し、ぜ、
Za,
さ、
so,
そ、
su,
す、
za,
ぞ、ず、
ji.
じ。
All right. There we go. I'm just trying to burn through these because how to say I don't understand. Wakarimasen. I don't understand can be used to let someone know that you don't understand what they're saying. You can add Nihongo before wakarimasen to show that you don't understand Japanese in general. Not only have we thought about Afrikaans, but also even lesser known languages like Yoruba. Okay, if you guys do that, that'll be a game changer because everybody goes after the same stuff. If you toss on, honestly, there's not a big platform for African languages. If you throw in like Yoruba and like some what else would be like some Twi and like some stuff like that, and then like Afrikaans would rule. Like Afrikaans would be super super cool. Is Afrikaans considered an English dialect or a whole different language? It's a different language. It would be more of a derivative of Dutch than anything. Like I think Dutch people can understand about 60 or 70% of Afrikaans, but no, it's its own language. There's 7 million native speakers, and I think there's an estimated 20 million speakers around the world. However, you're right. Have to start with the more popular languages to build up the community and the resources. Oh, absolutely, yeah. Don't take this as an insult, but I only ever heard of Afrikaans after binging your videos. No, it's not an insult. I'm not South African, so it doesn't insult me. You'd have a bigger piece of a smaller pie if you picked a rarer language. Interesting take on that. Makes sense. One of our engineers is from Nigeria and speaks Yoruba. That would be awesome. I mean, I could. I bet if you would talk to Lindy, I bet she would help you with an Afrikaans course because she's all about getting people to learn Afrikaans. And like my goal is to get proficient enough in Afrikaans to where I can reach out to places and be like, dude, let me get Afrikaans on your course, like, because it's such an awesome language. There's only one place that I really know of that uses it, and it's the Ling app. All right. How to say I don't understand. If you're speaking Japanese, then the word for Japan isn't Japan. Instead, you're going to use the word Nihon, which can be pronounced as either Nihon or Nippon. Yep, Nipponichi, the video game company. When we put a little circle in the top right corner, it changes the H sound to a P, so because Po. Also, there's a YouTuber I watch whose name is Kiritan Po, so that's just throwing that out there. When a small tsu is used, it means that we should make a short pause before the consonant coming after it. In this case, that means that the P sound in Nippon will have a small pause followed by a stronger P. Okay. Both Nihon and Nippon are common pronunciations of the word Nihon. You'll commonly hear Nippon in formal, official-sounding speech, but it can still be used in everyday language too. Okay, I didn't know that. I knew Nippon existed. I didn't know why. And like I said, the main reason I knew it existed was because of Nipponichi. Tell her to send us an email. I 100% absolutely will do that. I'm gonna open up a notepad real quick and make it, because my memory is not the greatest, so I'm gonna open up a notepad. Okay. Apparently it's not in my quick start menu. Notepad. Tell Wendy to email NativShark about Afrikaans content. Done and done. Alright. Why do we say Japan in English? Back in the 16th century, Portuguese traders encountered the Malay and Indonesian words Jepang, Jipang, and Jepun, which were borrowed from the non-Mandarin Chinese languages. This is thought to be how the word made it to Europe. It was first recorded in English, spelled Japan. Whoa, okay, that's cool. It is worth noting, however, that Marco Polo recorded the country as being called Chipangu back in the 13th century. Chinese. Okay, the meaning of Nihon. The characters Kanji are characters that originally come from Chinese, unlike hiragana and katakana, which only represent sounds. Kanji represent both meanings and sounds. So both of the characters, sun, day, and origin, or book, can be pronounced multiple ways depending on the word that they appear. Taking a closer look at the meaning of these words, we can see that Nihon, Japan, is the sun origin. That is, it is the land of the rising sun. Many of the Japanese words make a lot of sense if you know the kanji they contain. Even the word for kanji is like this because it contains the characters China, Chinese, and character. Yeah. Japanese is Nihongo. We learned that Nihon is Japan when adding the suffix go, which means something like language or word, then we get Nihongo. Pretty cool, right? Let's use it in a sentence. You just had some delicious omelette rice. Okay, at a 24-hour Denny's in Shibuya. Being the messy eater, or I mean classy traveler you are, you now have some bright red sauce smeared across your cheek. You're walking out of the restaurant and a friendly old man is trying to tell you that there's sauce on your face, but you don't know what he's saying. You respond with
日本語わかりません。
日本語わかりません。
Nihongo wakarimasen. Extremely proud of yourself for speaking Japanese, even if it was only to say you didn't speak Japanese. You exit the restaurant feeling pretty awesome and spend the rest of the morning with bright red sauce smeared across your face. Wakarimasen, I don't understand, can be used to let someone know that you don't understand what they are saying. You can add Nihongo, Japanese, before Wakarimasen to say you don't understand Japanese. Wakari, you might be wondering how 5-word sentence in English, I do not speak Japanese, can only be 2 words in Japanese. Nihongo, as we saw earlier, means Japanese language, and wakarimasen is the formal negative conjugation of the verb wakaru, to understand. In other words, it means do not understand. This is one of the great things about Japanese. If certain words are clear from context, there is no need to include them in your sentence. We need to include the word I in our English sentence because it would sound strange to say don't understand. But there's nothing strange about omitting a word for I in the Japanese version.
日本語わかりません。
日本語わかりません。
わかりません。
わかりません。
Putting it all together, you may recall that sumimasen means sorry or excuse me, and you now know the words Nihongo, Japanese, and wakarimasen. How then would you say I am sorry, I don't speak Japanese? Sumimasen, Nihongo wakarimasen.
すみません。日本語わかりません。
すみません。日本語わかりません。
Did you get it right, or did you just look at the answer without thinking about it at all? You learned something in either case. Nicely done. That's cool. I actually really like the way that these are set up. If you hover over literal word breakdowns on the sentences, it highlights which word that literal represents. I found that it helps me personally connect all the parts of a sentence together when trying... Okay. Let's go see... okay. Japanese language, don't understand. Okay, cool. Good call. That's cool. That too, once it gets into more complicated sentences, will help break down the structure and where the words are placed and stuff. So that's actually really cool. All right. Avoiding kanji will hurt us in the long term. Yes. In order to set ourselves up for success while getting natural Japanese in our head, NativShark sentences never exclude kanji unless a native speaker might also do so. This is why you find sentences with kanji in your lesson review cards before we reach the kanji lessons. With exposure, you'll find yourself reading these without second thought.
"日本語わかりません。ごめんなさい。
あ、すみません。
All right, cool. Do you want some ice cream? You're on a diet, but once can't hurt. Then it's once a week, then twice before you realize that your diet has all but vanished. But what if you never ate ice cream? You don't have to think about it. You're a person who does not eat ice cream. A person who studies every day, 99% is hard, 100% is easy. All right, now we're on to the t's. I really like that mnemonic for te. All right.
た、
Ta,
ち、
chi,
つ、
tsu,
て、
te,
と。
to. Sorry if I'm going. Hopefully, if anybody's watching it, I'm just going through this because again, I'm trying to get through some. I don't know if I'll get through it tonight. I just want to get through as much as I can up to the letter to give you guys as much of exposure to this as humanly possible. Notice the sound changes.
じ、
And I'm gonna do. I didn't mention this at the video at the beginning, and I should have. I did email NativShark before doing this stream to make sure it was okay. And that was So then they said sure, and I have a link. You can go to NativShark. You can see the website here, nativeshark.com, but I have a link in the description below. Why are you doing NativShark, Seabolt? I'm just trying it out. It's
do,
something I stumbled across and just wanted to try.
de,
Seems like Seabolt knows. Well, yeah. I mean, this is the beginning stuff. Like, it's just you have to go through the beginning lessons. I'm just getting through some of this stuff to get to
ji,
the stuff.
to, ta, chi, te,
To
zu,
that way I can get to some more of
da,
the stuff. And it was mainly just checking it out because it seemed like the reason I wanted to check this out is because it seemed like it would be genuinely a good teaching tool, because it's not like gamification. And then I saw the thing too about teaching in an I+1 manner, and I was like, all right, that sounds like something that kind of goes in line with what I'm trying to do anyway. Sometimes you'll see the smaller version of 2. We have a little 2 with extras. Yeah, okay.
kaki,
Kaki.
kaki,
Kaki.
kaki,
Kaki. Alright. How to offer your seat to people on the train. Alright, here we go. It's going to be some... The word dozo can be used in many situations when you want to say go ahead, help yourself, etc. Since train travel is a major part of both living and traveling in Japan, the model visitor to the island of the East will have fantastic train manners. No talking too loudly. Common train etiquette includes not talking too loudly, not talking on the phone, not eating or drinking, lining up single file outside the train doors before boarding, waiting for people to get off the train before you board, giving up your seat for passengers who are elderly, pregnant, have small kids, etc., not sitting in the priority seats reserved for these passengers, particularly if all of the seats on the train are taken. There's not a whole lot that will happen if you break these rules, though. You run the risk of amassing the silent disdain of the passengers around you. And some people don't care if you just slightly break some of these rules. If someone calls you, it's standard to answer, say, I'm on the train, I'll call you back, then quickly end the call. Interesting. If the train isn't extremely crowded, having a not too loud conversation with your friend is totally fine. And I can't count all the cans of cold coffee and beer I've drunk on trains in Japan, though I'll refrain from doing so when it's crowded. And I've never spilled. One rule that I think should be followed under any circumstance, however, is giving up your seat to priority passengers. Thus, if I see an elderly person standing while I have a seat, I'll be sure to get up and say,
どうぞ
"Dozo,
どうぞ
Dozo.
dozo,
Dozo.
dozo." The word dozo can be used in many situations when you want to say go ahead, help yourself. For example, you could also say this when holding the door open for someone, in which case we might translate it as after you. Okay. When you put the 2 little marks at the top of the right corner, okay, this is a refresher of that. Once many years ago, I took the train down to Kamakura, which is about an hour south of Tokyo. I spent 10 hours hiking in the forest, visiting temples, and just having an all-around fantastic day. By the end of it, my legs were killing me, and I was also thrilled to get a seat on the train for a 1-hour ride back to Tokyo. But then an old lady, boarded right after me. I'll be honest, I wavered for a moment, but then I took a deep breath, stood up, and said,
どうぞ
Dozo.
"Dozo." It was worth it for the smile she gave me. He phrases "dozo," go ahead. I know "dozo." Complete. Alright, let's see where we're at here. That one's still in progress. Oh man, I still have a lot to go through. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get through some of those tonight. I don't think I'm going to get through all these tonight. I'm going to try to get through these just quickly, though. And then do a stream with with the actual lessons. It's true, the beginning lessons are a review for some people. However, we include a ton of use case and culture notes along the way that many people miss in their studies. Yeah, no, for sure. Recently studied. Lesson 1. Oh, yeah, let's do the dialogue here. Culture is often just as important as the language itself. That is, yeah, that's true
どうぞ
too.
あ、すいません。
Sorry, let's go. Oh, there's a toggle translation button down there. I haven't used it on this in particular, but there is a toggle translation button. Boom. The circles fill up when you've completed all the lessons that were assigned today. Boom. Your study streak badge is filled when you've maintained your studies for that day. That's cool. Your progression badge is filled when you've completed all new content for today and have made progress in your ability. We're currently on the My Journey page. The Tools page contains a wide variety of additional resources and activities like the Kana tool and the shadow loops. Okay, yeah, I want to go check out that. Settings is for adjusting account and study settings. Using NativShark is where you can learn more about how our system works and how it should be used. Feedback for feedback, of course. And there's no reason to be clicking this ever. Occasionally we provide useful bits of information as notifications. The first several units of Phase 1 are unique in that that your pace slider does not limit how many you can study per day. So you can keep studying if you'd like, or just go on exploring. Let's go. I'm gonna go to another. Oh, next. Sorry. Okay. Let's go to tools. Whoops. I'm sorry, Caleb. If this is your app. How long have you been learning languages, not counting high school French or whatever? If you're asking me, I didn't study French in high school. I've been studying. I got serious about studying languages in 2009, and then I took like a 5-year hiatus, and then I kind of got back into it in like 2015. Well, when I started this channel, 2016 ish. Let me see. Let's do. All right, there's some stuff here. Flashcard, just to check it out, since this is what we're doing in this, is to test the stream. Okay. Flashcards are stored in decks. Makes sense. At the top, you can see the flashcards from NativShark's core studies. These flashcards are a part of the study tasks assigned each day. By clicking Begin Today's Studies, you can start doing those tasks just like you would on your study dashboard. Okay. If you'd like, you can also make your own custom flashcards. Flashcard deck. Custom flashcard decks are an extra credit activity and are not required part of daily studies. Okay, that's cool. Let's just see what happens here. Okay. Oh, wait. Nope. Okay, it takes you there. Wish you success. It looks more thorough and interesting than the stuff I've tried. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of information on this. Like I wasn't 100% sure what to expect, but there is a lot of information here. Okay, I don't have a custom deck. Okay, cool, sweet. I finished. All decks in progress. I guess there's nothing to review here, yeah, because I just got those words. So that actually makes sense. Kana review, don't need conjugation drills. There's not going to be anything there just yet. Let's see if there's anything in shadow loops. French was just an example of a language people often learn in school and then forget. Cool that you've been doing it for a while, though. I discovered this community a few months ago. So glad that I did. The language community is pretty awesome, man. For the most part. There's some people that, that goes with every community, but for the most part, it's pretty awesome. Down here you can find shadow loop albums we've already assembled for you. Okay. With the plus minus buttons, you can set the number of times each sentence in your shadow loop album repeats. Okay. You can also set the amount of silence between each track. Ooh. Alright, so just click play. You can also click view tracks to see the sentences in that album. If you'd like, you can make your own cut. Okay, this is cool. This is I think is going to be awesome. This is a cool feature. I just want to see right off. Looks like, let me see.
出口はどこですか？出口はどこですか？出口はどこですか？
So
出口はどこですか？出口はどこですか？出口はどこですか？
何？
All right, that's pretty cool. Obviously, I haven't gotten into Nihongo Shark, but that seems like it's pretty cool. I like the setting of how many times it loops, the time in between, stuff like that. So I like that. Here we go, pitch visualizer. Yeah, see, this is
重くないよ。
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 重くないよ. All right, so this is going to be this is definitely going to be super helpful, which again, I just made the video about how I wasn't concentrating on any kind of pitch accent. You know, I was mainly just trying to learn right now. But I mean, there's probably some stuff in here that I will look at. That's actually a really cool feature. How does it work on longer sentences? Whoa.
雨宿りのために喫茶店に入ったが、雨は激しくなる一方だ。
Okay, that's all right. That's gonna be cool. It's generated from this. That's super. Yeah, that is a really cool feature. I really dig it. Let's see what kind of stat. This gives you detailed look at the amount and frequency in which you have studied. Through NativShark, okay. Flashcard heat map, yeah, okay. Green squares for days you've studied in the past. Gray squares are for days in the future. The coloring is more intense for days in which higher numbers of flashcards were or will likely be studied. Okay, there's nothing really there yet, but I just started, so not really a thing. Oh, that's cool too. So phase 1, if I continue at 4 lessons a day, which will be the max I can do after lesson 23, I believe they said, where it, you know, limits kind of what you can do. Which you got to think, I mean, I did 4 lessons, and this is beginner stuff, and I burned through it because I knew all that stuff, and I was just trying to get through. It's been 38 minutes so you keep going. You know, you keep going to. You know, if you actually take your time and go through those, you're talking, I mean, probably an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours a day. Yeah, it's the exact pitch literally generated from the sentence audio file itself. Yeah, I mean, you can't beat that. That's the best pitch tool that there is, really. All right, so that's cool. Let's do a couple more lessons just to kind of burn. Oh, well, yeah. So I like that, and I'm anxious to see how this changes after I do a couple more lessons. But I like in the stats category right here, estimated completion September 23rd, 2020. So I like that. I think that's really cool. All right, let's jump back to my journey, do a couple more here, and just see how that changes that too. All right, start next. It's even more accurate than like a general pitch dictionary or whatever. We also provided dark mode on the site. Maybe I'll change that. People always complain when they watch my streams that I don't do dark mode. Oh, I have to yeah, confirm my email address. Let's see, study settings maybe. Probably not, but let me see. Okay. Your current pace is a year. Danger zone. Reset phase. Whoa. Extra credit targets. I don't have any. Flashcards, front, back. Go click on the moon at the top. Oh, yeah, that makes. Ooh, that's nice. All right, let's go here. Yeah, that's really nice. All right, let's go through another lesson or two. What is this? Does this mean? Ah, okay. So this is showing you when you're unlocking some of the milestones. Okay, gotcha. Let's do another set real quick. Many years ago, Nico said something that stuck with me. Become the person who studies Japanese every day. Once I switched to this mindset, I didn't have to debate with myself about whether or not I should or should not study. Studying was simply something I did every day. Maintaining progress had never been easier. That is nice. Some dark modes are too dark, and yeah, no, I'll agree. This is not like pitch black dark. It's like I definitely like the way that it looks. Because yeah, I agree. Like sometimes, like even when I'm using Discord, for example, like well, it's actually not as bad as it used to be. Discord used to be just black, like you can see here, but it's not as bad as it used to be. But whoops. But yeah, I think it looks really, really good. It's not super hard on the eyes. All right, so we're gonna do the ends.
Na.
Ni.
Nu.
Nu.
Ne.
Ne. That's I like that actually. That's a really cool
No.
pictograph, picture mnemonic there.
Ni. Na. Nu. No. Ne.
Boom. All right, let's keep moving through. We mark sentences as either formal or casual, but none of them are marked polite. Both casual and formal language can be rude or polite depending on what is said to who in what situation. How to say thank you. Arigatou gozaimasu is used to say thank you in formal. In casual, it can just be shortened to arigato. There we go. So you can use the following phrase when offering your seat to someone on the train. Dozo.
どうぞ。
どうぞ。
Dozo. Boom. If you change just one kana there, putting mo instead of zo, it becomes a phrase that can mean thank you.
どうも。
どうも。
That's cool. I've never pieced that together. Like I know both of those words, so it's fine. But I could see as a beginner how that could help learn the word. Instead of trying to think of it as a whole new word, it's like you know that word, so just attach that to it. So, or not attach, but change it off. I think that's really cool. Let's see. If you were fortunate enough to live through the 80s, then chances are you've heard the phrase domo arigato. I was born in 1987, but I know exactly what you're talking about there. In the song Mr. Roboto by Styx, which repeats domo arigato, Mr. Roboto over and over. Well, it's always nice when music or other media teaches this word in foreign language. This one can be a bit misleading, as you won't often hear, as you won't often want to say just domo arigato. You will, however, often use the second part, just the second part.
ありがとう。
ありがと
When a kana with an O sound is followed by an U, the O sound gets elongated. So the end of arigato is just a long to sound. When you add two little marks to the top right corner of the ka, it changes to a ga. So ga. Arigato is relatively casual and extremely common way to say thank you in Japanese. Did your new Japanese son-in-law offer to carry your suitcase? Arigato. Did your friend buy you a snack at the convenience store? Arigato. And so on. Look at that, man. They're super happy they're buying these snacks. But wait a second. If you're only going to learn one phrase for thank you, it should be this more formal version.
ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
Arigatou gozaimasu is used to say thank you in formal language and casual speaking. Okay. I've had quite a bit of trouble teaching this phrase to friends and family. They show up in Japan for a short visit and they've studied zero Japanese before getting there. As a result, the phrase arigatou gozaimasu seems like a long and confusing string of gibberish to them. Our experience can be different though. We know that most Japanese consist of consonant-vowel combos, and we have this native audio sitting right in front of us. With repetition, we can get to a point where the phrase just rolls off our tongue.
ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
That might seem like a long word at this stage in your studies, but I promise that in time you'll find yourself busting it out at a moment's notice, often without much thinking being done at all. You'll be the polite traveler who went the extra mile and learned how to say thank you to people in their native language for the many helpful things they do.
ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
By the way, you're feeling a bit depressed that you can't use domo arigato after all those years of singing along to Styx. I have a slight consolation for you. If you want to be extra formal, you can add domo in front of arigato gozaimasu, saying,
どうもありがとうございます。
どうもありがとうございます。
But if you're only going to memorize one phrase in this lesson,
ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
that's why we've repeated it 4 times. It's just important. Boom. All right.
あ、どうぞ。あ、どうぞ。
すいません。ありがとうございます。
あ、どうぞ。あ、どぞ。
すいうません。ありがとうございます。
Okay, so right there was a little bit of a hiccup in the audio. It double played this, and it goes over sumimasen.
あ、どうぞ。あ、どうぞ。
すいません。ありがとうございます。
So that's just something. It doesn't bother me, but you know, it's just something to look at in terms of a bug. And then yeah, here's I didn't use this earlier. I was gonna show that just where you can do the boom, 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 boom. The translation. Those are really cool. Boom. Next, well-mannered traveler, new progression badge. Can say thank you, excuse me, and sorry. That's a known bug. Okay, cool. Cool. Boom. All right, now I'm curious. Which I'm gonna go through some more because we're getting into just some more stuff here. I want to see in advanced stats how that changes the due date if I go past. Okay, it's still saying September 23rd. Okay. So we're going to keep going and see what happens. Oh, I don't think I clicked next. There we go. Wait, what did you say? I found myself asking that a lot when I first started talking to native speakers in Japanese. I had passed the N2 technically enough to get a job in a Japanese speaking office, but I often struggled to pick up what people were saying when they spoke to me. Everything seemed half pronounced. Words were flying by so fast that I think one even hit me in the face. Our voice actors speak at natural speeds, so you don't experience the natural speak shock that I did. Yeah, and I think that's the big thing with doing the immersion. Like, I know people are always like, oh, it's not comprehensive, you're doing useless work, but like, you're learning how the language sounds, so definitely not useless. Alright, we're going into the H sounds. Let me see. You just have to do enough units to where the completion date will round to the next value. Gotcha. If it doesn't happen, it's a bug. Okay, I'm not overly worried about it, like, because I'll continue. I mean, you know, I'll go through as much just to see what's up, but I was just curious if it did it, because I mean, it makes sense. If you were to do 4 a day, doing one additional one isn't going to really change what that date would be. Alright, we're going through the H's. Ha and he are also particles. That's actually cool. This is something that's usually, like, especially when you're first learning, they don't teach you, so it's actually cool that this is going ahead and being like, hey, and it's cool that it's talking about being pronounced differently. Yeah, so ha is pronounced wa when it's a particle, and he is pronounced e. So
Ha.
Yeah, tooth.
Heta.
Heta. What is it? I was trying to think. What's the word for? I always struggle. I was thinking of brushing my teeth. How? What is brush? Jisho. I'm just gonna type in brush. Kino. Migaku, yeah. Lord. Okay. Sometimes I struggle. I thought he was chicken wings, but it kind of looks like a pair of high heels. Jolzu. Hold on, let's see.
Ha.
Okay, ha. You were talking about he? Okay, let me see. So,
He.
He is heel, pair of heels. He high heels together.
Fu.
Who? No. Fuji.
He.
Headphones.
Ho.
Ho. Oh, alright. Whole lot of voiced characters, yeah. Ha's
Ba.
got a bunch. Ba.
Bi.
B.
ぶ、べ、
Be.
ぼ、
Bo.
ぱ、
Ba.
ぴ、
B.
ぷ、
Bo.
ぺ、
Be.
ぽ。
Bo. Alright, let's get through this.
ぶ、
Bo.
ぱ、ふ、ぼ、ば、ひ、び、ぴ、ほ、へ、ぷ、ぺ、べ、ぽ、は。
Alright. Boom. Let's keep on going. Welcome to Japan. Yokoso is used to say welcome. Okaeri nasai is used when saying welcome home. Okay. Now that you finished the RTK deck, how much longer do you plan on reviewing it? Probably for a pretty good while, especially for all the new cards. You can use spacebar. Ooh, okay. That'll help me get through those a little bit quicker too. Yeah, I'll probably continue to review my RTK deck for a pretty good while. Dash, I was thinking of that today as well. I hit 1 year today and I'm still forgetting 30% of them. Yeah, I feel like that's the... As I continue to read, like I see them in subtitles when I'm watching shows and stuff, so that hopefully that'll help them stick. Since Japan is an island way out of the edge on the edge of the Pacific Ocean, it typically takes a long time for anyone who doesn't already live in Asia to get there. After a long and often painful flying experience, there's one thing that might brighten your mood, though. When you arrive in Japan, you're almost certain to spot a sign welcoming you to the country, which may have the phrase
ようこそ
Yokoso.
ようこそ。
Yokoso. If the sign is welcoming you to Japan specifically, it will say... okay, it's got the particle called out separately. That's cool. And then a note about the particle. Although the character typically sounds a bit like we would say hey in English, it is used as a particle. The H sound is left off, making it closer to how we might say in English.
日本へようこそ。
Whoa.
日本へようこそ。
I was very careful to say that. Perhaps you'll see a sign saying one of the above phrases when entering Japan. However, it depends on who the sign is intended for. Instead of the word yokoso, I have also seen the following printed on signs at airports in Japan.
おかえりなさい。
Okaeri nasai.
おかえりなさい。
Okaeri nasai. However, if you see a sign, such a sign, the English appearing next to it probably won't say welcome home or glad to see you back. Instead, it will say welcome to Japan. This is because the English is intended for foreign visitors to Japan, while the Japanese is intended for Japanese natives returning to their home country. Ah, that's a good call. Yokoso is used to say welcome. Okaeri nasai is used when saying welcome home. Okaeri nasai is an interesting phrase. It's common to say this to family members when they return home, even if they've only been gone for a day while at work or at school. More casually, it can be shortened to
おかえり
おかえり。
Okaeri. But seriously doubt you'll see that written on any signs at the airport. Although most travelers probably wouldn't think about it twice. Little things like signs written in Japanese only welcome Japanese people can be a bit of a letdown for us serious students of the language. We spend all this time learning Japanese, but then it's assumed that we'll be unable to speak or read it. With that in mind, try not to get too disappointed if you attempt to use some of your newfound Japanese skills with a Japanese person, only to have them respond to you in English, or worse, say, sorry, I don't speak English, even though you were speaking Japanese to them. Most people and signs who do this kind of thing are actually trying to be accommodating and considerate of you as a foreign visitor. If you're patient and build up your Japanese skills enough, you will eventually find countless opportunities to use Japanese. Know that in my case, I couldn't escape it now if I tried because it has become such an integral part of my personal and professional life, to say nothing of my hobbies. Cool. Yokuso okaeri nasai. I know both of those. Alright, let's see here. Yeah, it's because there's nothing reinforcing the immersion. Feels bad to fill all those reviews. I think I stopped RTK maybe 3 months after completing it. The true learning comes from vocab, so it's fine not to remember a bunch as long as you're learning relevant vocabulary. Yeah, a lot of us at NativShark on the staff that are at the N1 levels of Japanese use RTK back in the day. We found that to be a common issue. Definitely makes sense. We built a lot of stuff into NativShark to help prevent that from happening with the way that we teach kanji. Pretty excited to see that. Do you have to go through every lesson, or is there a way to start at another level? They had mentioned, which I'm sure he'll mention that in the comments he'll answer to you, but he said earlier that they're kind of working on a way to, I think, make that happen.
おかえり。
ありがと
All right. Currently, the whole system is set up in a linear fashion. You can get through the first 22 units as fast as you like, just skipping through. After that, the pace slider kicks in. Correction, I'm on day 345 of MIA. I don't know why I thought it was today. I don't know what day I'm on. I'm on 4 months. I started April 1st, so 4 months and 14 days. Completed. Boom, boom. All right. Let's see what's coming up. Just take a short break here. Okay, it's continue. It's the other stuff. Okay. All right. Looks like we're gonna get Ma after. I'm anxious to get in, like, further into the meat of NativShark, and I do plan I am gonna stream this again, and that way you'll have a better idea once you get past the kana aspect of it, because I'm really anxious to see how it teaches, and like once you get into actual, more so like phrases and stuff like that versus just like the welcome and stuff like that. Your end goal might seem far away, but if we show up every day, we can look back in a month and say, hey, look at all that progress I made. Before you know it, that chunk of ocean that used to be in front of you will look small. Here we go. The M hiragana sound. There we go.
Mi.
Okay.
Mu.
Cool.
Me. Mo. Ma. Mo. Mi. Mu. Me.
All right. Cool. There we go. Burn through those real quick. R and L sound. Oh, wow. Okay.
La.
Getting...
Ri.
Ri.
Lu.
Lu.
Le.
De.
Lo.
Do.
Lo. Le. La. Lu. Ri.
Cool. All right. Are you okay? Daijoubu desu ka? Okay. Can be used to ask us if they're okay. And daijoubu desu, I'm fine, can be used affirmation. Okay. Affirmation. There you are, wandering the narrow streets of a trendy Tokyo neighborhood, maybe Shimokitazawa or Jiugaoka. Probably butchered the crap out of that. A middle school girl is riding her bike past you and boom, she crashes. You rush up to her and you ask.
大丈夫？
大丈夫？
I love that we can make so many one-word sentences in Japanese. The one downside to this is that most of them, like this one, are casual language, and it's just not appropriate to use language this casual. Addition, adding. Okay, this is the thing about adding the marks. Once I was sitting on the beach in Kamakura, and a hawk swooped down and stole my pizza dumpling right out of my hand. As I sat in shock, a woman sitting nearby tried to stifle a laugh while asking,
大丈夫？
大丈夫？
Boom. So yeah, that's another situation in which you could use this question, but let's be honest with ourselves for a moment. If anyone is going to crash their bike in glorious fashion, it's going to be us while we're traveling around this beautiful country. And while we're writhing in pain on the ground, perhaps a Japanese person will ask us,
大丈夫？
大丈夫？
while suspecting that we broke a few bones, we can then fight back the tears and answer,
大丈夫。
大丈夫。
boom. Just a little intonation. Okay. Hold on though. We're model travelers, right? Which means that we want to use formal Japanese most of the time. Well, to make the above sentence more formal, all you have to do is add des to the end.
大丈夫です。
大丈夫です。
Des. Okay. 大丈夫です. Des is a copula, which is a bit like a verb. You can just think of it as meaning is, i.e. the verb to be, and call it a day for now. We'll cover it more in other lessons. You may have guessed it by now, but the two little marks at the top of the te are changing that sound to a de. And if you want to formally ask if they are okay, i.e. if you want to ask this to almost anyone but a friend, family member, or child, you would add des ka.
大丈夫ですか？
大丈夫ですか？
Ka is sentence-ending particle that we put onto the end of formal questions. We see many examples of this in other phase 1. Alright, we good on that.
ごめん、大丈夫？
大丈夫。大丈夫？
大丈夫、ありがと
And then, yeah, you can use your translator if you need to.
う。ごめん、大丈夫？
大丈夫。大丈夫？
大丈夫、ありがと
Boom. Ba-bum. Boom. Bingo, bango. 8 cents. 7 lessons. 6 dialogues. Alright. We are trucking on through here. Yawaki. Then it goes on to katakana, it looks like. Interesting. Alright. So... Oh man, speaking of which, I was talking about Afrikaans earlier. I had made that tweet about Afrikaans. And... the lack of applications and learning services that do not have Afrikaans is infuriating. How are you going to have Klingon and not Afrikaans? And Lindy, there we go. Yeah, I'm going to totally... I will message her for you all, and that would be awesome. All right, I need back here. Okay. All right, let's jump into... I'm going to do like 1 or 2 more, and then I'll probably end it there, because it's like 11:30 here at night. But we'll try to get through a couple more. Actually, you'll see. Yeah, it looks like there was like maybe 2 more of the hiragana, and then it would break into the katakana. So let's... this one shouldn't be as long. It's just the yo.
Yeah. You. Yo. Yeah. Yo. You.
Boom, complete. Bam. All right.
Wa. Wo. Mm.
Oh, that I like the wall one. The skateboard.
Mm.
Mm.
Wo. Wa.
All right. Calling out Duolingo with the how do you have Klingon and not... Well, I mean, it's not directly. It's just like it's any sort. Like I thought Drops had Afrikaans on it, and it doesn't. Like I don't know. There's just so many programs that don't. And Drops has some pretty random languages on there. I slept terribly last night and just did 4 hours of overtime. Studying is not something my brain can handle right now. Thankfully, there are ways around this problem. For example, I can speed read through a lesson and hit remembered on every flashcard. That still counts as progress because I showed up. How to ask, do you speak English? 英語大丈夫ですか? And 英語わかりますか? Can be used to ask if you can use English and if the other person understands it. Interesting. How to ask, do you speak English? Even if you read all our phase 1 lessons in preparation for an upcoming trip to Japan, you're probably going to run into a situation in which you simply are unable to communicate what you want to say without using English. The following sentence will help.
英語大丈夫ですか？
英語大丈夫ですか?
English language okay desu ka? Okay. I've never seen this, but I'm not a master of Japanese, so that's interesting.
英語大丈夫ですか？
But it makes sense.
英語大丈夫ですか?
Okay. Eigo is the Japanese word for English language. Pair that with daijobu, which is okay or alright, and the question mark or particle, ka, and you've got all you need to avoid using Japanese in Japan. Well, unless the person you're talking to says no, English is not okay. Although the furigana word for eigo contains e, followed by e, and the particle a is pronounced as much as the same as eigo. The same thing happens o, which is pronounced pretty much the same as o. Reading the example sentence above, you might be wondering why we went with a question like, is English okay, instead of something like, do you speak English? The reason is that Japanese people are likely to feel uncomfortable stating that their English ability is high, even if they're pretty good at English. They might say no to something like, do you speak English? And another reason that we're not studying phrases like, can you speak English, is that we'd need to delve into using the potential conjugation form of verbs a bit, which is covered in detail in another phase 1 lesson. These people conversing here. But what if you want someone to use Japanese instead of English? You're talking to a Japanese person who is seriously struggling to communicate with you in English. You don't have a clue what they're saying, what they're trying to say, so you want to get them speaking Japanese. You say,
日本語大丈夫ですよ。
desu yo. Okay.
日本語大丈夫ですよ。
We can sometimes add yo to the end of of statements when we are providing new information for the listener or emphasizing something. Okay. Let me see. What you mentioned about Daijo is an example of how we're bringing in real natural Japanese that is often totally left out of most educational systems. Yeah, for sure. No, that definitely... For sure. Because, like, even in, like in Pimsleur, they teach, like, it would be, like, they would say, like, eigo wakarimasu ka? Which I guess is technically the same thing. Like, do you understand or know, or, something of that nature, but it's still... Alright, so the word daijo was turning out to be pretty useful, right? But there are a lot of other phrases that we can use in reference to language learning ability too. For example, instead of asking eigo daijo... Oh, okay, yeah, there's literally...
英語大丈夫ですか？
英語大丈夫ですか?
There's what I was literally just talking about.
英語わかりますか？
英語わかりますか?
So, but that's do you understand English, which makes sense. And is your English okay? Essentially, is your English, because if you're implying, is your English okay enough to have a conversation in English with me? You may recall that you can use this phrase if you don't speak Japanese.
日本語わかりません。
日本語わかりません。
Wakarimasen. Don't understand is a negative conjugation of the verb wakaru, to understand. Wakarimasu, on the other hand, is a positive conjugation on the verb wakaru, to understand. Note that the only difference is the last character of the words. If you ask the above question to a Japanese person, perhaps they'll respond with
少しわかります。
少しわかります。
Similarly, if someone asks you,
日本語わかりますか？
日本語わかりますか？
Then you can respond.
少しわかります。
少しわかります。
It would even be fine to just say,
少し。
少し。
yeah, you can say that for sure. Daijobu just happens to also be totally acceptable and a little more natural to life. They have a slight different meaning. Have fun communicating or failing to communicate. Either way should be fun. Nice. Hold on, let me see here. While I know, let me see, does that pull the stream off? No, okay. Let me log into my Facebook here while I'm sitting here getting through this next lesson. Bum bum bum. Lindy. I'm gonna send her a message right now. To add different. Free cons. Okay. All right.
少しどうぞ。
ありがとう。
Boom. Skosh. Dozo. Arigato. Here, have some. Skosh dozo. Okay. Boom, boom. Loading study stats. Here we go. Where are we at here? Cool. Yeah, so there's one more lesson of hiragana. So I'm going to go through that for sure, and then we'll kind of just assess where I'm at, and then I may do one lesson of the hiragana or katakana on stream just to see how it varies, and then hopefully, man, before next stream I'll be done with that, and then how much longer will you be streaming for? Probably not too much longer. I'm going to do for sure this unit 9 here, which will finish up the hiragana. And then I may do Unit 10 just to see how the katakana is. And then probably go from there. Probably not too much longer, though. Alright, Kana smoothies. We're about to look at blended sounds you can make by combining hiragana. While there are quite a few... Okay, so this is going to teach you the combo consonants, yeah. You're already familiar with all the hiragana shown, and the rules are extremely consistent. Get through some of these, and you'll be finished learning all the primary sounds of Japanese. Ready in kana. Blended sounds...
キャ、キュ、キョ、キョ。
Boom. Adding 2 little dashes to the top right of a blended sound indicates that it should be voiced. Yep.
ギャ、
Yeah.
ギュ、ギョ。キュ、ギュ、キャ、キョ、ギャ、ギョ。
Boom. Our second set of blended sounds.
シャ、シュ、ショ。
Boom.
じゃ、じゅ、じょ。しょ、し じゅ、じゃ、じょ、しゃ。
Okay. All right. Third set of blended sounds.
ちゅ、ちょ。ちゅ、ちゃ、ちょ。
And boom. All right. Neat.
にゃ、にゅ、にょ。にょ、にゅ、にゃ。
Bum, bum.
ひゃ、ひゅ、ひょ。びゃ、びゅ、びょ、ぴゃ、ぴゅ、ぴょ。ひょ、びゅ、ぴゃ、ひゅ、びゃ、ひゃ、ぴょ、ぴゅ、びょ。
Okay.
みゃ、みゅ、みょ。みゅ、みゃ、みょ。
Okay.
りゃ、りゅ、りょ。りゃ、りゅ、りょ。
You mentioned earlier that you struggled a little bit with katakana. This would be a good tool to make you. Yeah. If I do the next one, like I'll probably actually will legit go through all the, because katakana, like I'm much better at katakana than I used to be, but I still struggle with that a little bit. So I'll probably actually legit go through those lessons the way they're intended to. I'm just kind of skimming through these right now just to get where we, where I just want to get a little further into it. Let's see. I used to use paper flashcards. This was many years ago. After a few thousand words, my flashcards became meaningless. An entire deck would have a couple words and I didn't remember it. This is why it's important for a flashcard to use spaced repetition system. Okay, cool. Hey, Lindy messaged me back and she said sure. So I will get you all. I think that's her I don't know if that's her personal email address or not. I don't want to put that on stream in case it is. I will. Is the email that I emailed you guys on cool to send? Like, is that an email that I can use? I'll send her email to that, and that way you can get in contact with her. But yeah, if the email address that I emailed you all on earlier, I'll send Lindy's email address to you on there. Like, I don't want to put it on the stream because I don't think that's her like professional email, so I don't want to give that out. Send that email. I'll see. Okay, cool. I'll send that to you after the stream. That way you can get in contact with her. Because I'm telling you, man. Like, again, I know that you all want to put time and effort into what's gonna get the subscription base up, man. But man, if there could be a legit platform like this for Afrikaans, that would be so huge. And there's a pretty decent community. Like, I know, obviously, Lindy's a native, and then there's people who want to learn it. Learn Afrikaans with Lindy has almost 3,000 subscribers on it, which she hadn't uploaded to in a year or so. But I know that Polyglot Files learned Afrikaans. Like, there's a pretty decent community around Afrikaans, so that would be really, really cool. Konnichiwa can be used as a general hello, while konnichiwa, konbanwa, hello there, reading, and ohayo gozaimasu are used to say good evening and good morning, respectively. All right. The word for hello in Japanese.
こんにちは。
I'm 100% serious about wanting to teach Afrikaans, so no worries. Heck yeah.
こんにちは。
Konnichiwa. Although the hiragana character wa, ha, sorry, I was in particle mode there. Although the hiragana character for ha has an H, there are times when it is pronounced wa instead. Specifically, it is pronounced like wa when it is being used as a particle. There is more information on this in other phrases. For the time being, just remember that konnichiwa and not konnichiwa. In fact, although it technically is not proper to do so, you may even seen it written in this form from time to time.
こんにちは。
I saw that.
こんにちは。
I saw that in a book, in a dual language book. I saw it written like that. We do need to get our sub base up large enough to support it, though. Yeah, and that's fully understandable. Do you have any other languages with a similar system as NativShark? Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, I've not used this a ton. I mean, this is the first time I've ever used this program, so once I get into it, maybe. But I've never really seen anything like it, especially
こんにちは。
with
こんにちは。
such good audio and stuff like that, and like they're just tons of useful information and like grammar note type of situations. Pretty much any time should be fine. Technically, it's meant to be used during the day a bit, like we might say use good day in English. This makes sense if you look at the origin of the word. It was the beginning of a phrase semi-literally meant as for today. Konnichiwa. Are you serious? How about you? Konnichi. This day. Holy crap. I never put that together. That is insane. That's kind of blowing my wow. Konnichi, yeah. Kon is in like kononi, and Nichi is in like, I mean, Nichi's day. Konnichiwa. Alright, well that blew my mind for no reason at all. If it's nighttime and you approach some potential friends at the bar by saying konnichiwa, it won't sound weird. That said, if you want to be a straight A student, there are a couple of other greetings you could master as well, including...
こんばんは。
こんばんは。
Konbanwa. Going back to the origin of these greetings, we can see that this came from as for this evening. Konbanwa. Having to mention when to say konnichiwa, family, coworker. I think I read that already. How to say good morning. This one's a little bit different than the other two greetings. If you're speaking casual language, you can just say
おはよ
おはよ
Ohayo. Feeling too lazy to do. Yeah, early. Feeling too lazy to jump into right. Well, you can probably get it just saying Ohio. Yeah, I used to think that when I first started learning Japanese. When traveling in Japan, you'll probably want to use the more formal version of this, which would be
おはようございます。
おはようございます。
and are you noticing that putting gozaimasu onto the end of some greetings makes them more formal? Example, arigatou gozaimasu is more formal than just arigatou.
ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
This is Caleb, but we're adding many languages starting at 21. What you just experienced is why our beginner content is so different. Oh, yeah, that blew my mind. And like, I don't know, like, it feels like one of those things I should have connected with. Like, I should have made that connection before, and for some reason I didn't. Like that, yeah, that shattered my universe for some reason. If you're like me and you enjoy waking up early and going for walks, then there's a good chance that you'll find a friendly old lady or two that'll greet you with "Ohayou gozaimasu" while you're wandering around. Be sure to practice saying the phrase a bunch of times so that you're ready to say it right back to them.
おはようございます。
おはようございます。
Boom, boom, and boom. All right, cool.
Konnichiwa. こんにちは。
おはようございます。
あ、おはようございます。
All right. Next. All right. So I think I am going. We need to point out that the identifier, hover over the text. Oh crap! Sorry. There's a delay on this, so I missed that. When the next time I go through that, I will hover over the text. If you're like me, we need to point out that identifier element better. That realization that melted Seabolt's mind was rather entertaining because the thing happened to me when I first connected those dots. Yeah, that's it makes sense. It's definitely a weird thing. Like how would you not have put that together? But you just take it for what it's worth, and I didn't. Okay, now, so since I finished the hiragana, because hiragana I'm fine with, right? So that's done. All right, I do want to do at least one lesson. I'm going to do this lesson in katakana, which shouldn't honestly be that big of an issue because the vowels I'm pretty solid with. It gets a little shady when it gets to like the ta, like some of the ta, the I think it's like ke and te and stuff. Like there's a couple that I get confused on. First, I do want to go to this tools here and see. Boom, look at that. September 22nd. We're moving on up. We are moving on up. All right. So let me go to, we're going to keep on going here because I want to do at least one katakana lesson the way that they are intended to be used. Oh, I guess I just hit start next. Let me see. What do we got here? There's some text that you can hover over in lessons when the lesson is written in first person. Okay. Audio is important, but you can skip it sometimes. Natural audio from native speakers is crucial to improving listening and pronunciation. But you're in the waiting room at the doctor's office and you forget your headphones. Study anyway, even without the audio. The most important thing is just showing up with consistency. The rest is just details. All right, here we go. Let's do this the way that it is intended. Let me actually, I forgot that I blew this up. Let me shrink this down to where it's just the size it's supposed to be, and then that'll be a little bit easier. All right, so here we go. Katakana, the second syllabary. When learning hiragana, we saw all the sounds of the Japanese language. Now we're going to see those same sounds written in a different script called katakana. Katakana characters are often used when writing foreign loanwords and names. They can also be used to make written words seem strong or emphatic, not unlike typing in all caps in English. We'll start by seeing how a, I, u, e, o is written in katakana. A, I, u, e, o. Looking at the above katakana, you may notice that they have more sharp edges and fewer flowing rounded shapes than hiragana. This is true of most katakana characters. Aside from being used to represent the same sounds as hiragana, katakana often look quite similar to the hiragana counterparts too. For example, hiragana ka is katakana ka, and hiragana ya is katakana ya. Consequently, many students rush through katakana and don't give them very much time or attention. Katakana are not used as widely as hiragana, so you have fewer chances to read them both in daily life and in lessons. It is not uncommon to meet an intermediate or advanced student who still has trouble with many katakana characters, especially when it comes to reading speed. By giving them the time and attention they deserve, we can avoid becoming one of those students.
Ah.
Okay, audio, okay, it's like a little audio wave, yeah. Eagle, that's a cool one. Stool. See, and this is like, these are some of the ones that confuse me, because this is and then if you take off like this edge, and it's just, I don't know, like some of these confuse me. Well, okay. Orange. Let's do a small quiz on the characters you just learned. Oh, I need to watch the brush stroke. I should do that. Okay, so we got boom, boom, boom. Right? I'm sorry. Yeah. I feel like an idiot from I know that one. I know that one. I don't know why I did that. All right. You learned the katakana for all of the vowel sounds in Japanese.
Yay!
All right. Can you guess what this phrase means? And it's a Japanese representation of the English phrase "yay." You may be wondering what that is between e and e. That character is used to indicate that the vowel sound coming before it should be elongated. In other words, is pronounced for twice as long when it is written as using dash is very common in words written in katakana. People also say or write
Yay.
yay, but it sounds less excited in that case. I've got to bounce, but I think you'll enjoy using NativShark. I'm just a community member, but I used the previous iteration of the Japanese learning system by the same people. It's some amazing stuff. I'm digging it so far, and like I said, I'm anxious to get past some of this stuff to get into some of like the actual like teaching stuff. Like once I get to the level kind of where I'm at, I'm anxious to see how that works. I'm really excited for it. How to order food. Here we go. You can use noun kudasai to ask for things in formal language. Just replace noun with what you want to ask for. All right, here we go. This is a giant section, but we're going to get through it, and that will probably be about it, but we'll see. We might all differ. It takes a long time to get used to katakana for sure. Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's just not seen as much. All right, we might all differ on what kinds of food we like, but I think it's fair to say that all of us humans enjoy, or at the very least cannot survive without water. The Japanese word for water is mizu. When you're asking for water at a restaurant, however, it would be better to say omizu. Putting an o at the beginning of some nouns is common in Japanese. Typically, we refer to this lesson as an honorific prefix. Another common example of this is saying o sushi instead of just sushi. If you didn't already guess it, this is the word for sushi. What are we showing honor to by including o before these nouns? Nothing really. By including these prefixes, you're not really showing more formality to the listener or making it sound like you respect sushi or water, for example. And adding o can even be done in casual language. In short, you don't need to think about how formal you want to sound when determining if you're going to say something like o sushi instead of sushi. Instead, just try to copy what the native speakers are saying and worry about how a very subtle change of nuance is occurring here when you get to phase 4. Getting hung up on the minor details like this is one of the worst things you can do in your studies. All right. The easiest way to order something in Japanese. If you want to order something, use this pattern. Noun plus kudasai. Noun, please. Could I get noun, please? If we wanted to describe the literal meaning of kudasai, perhaps we could say it means, please, honorable person, give it to me. Generally speaking, however, you will be fine if you just memorize it as please. Ku. Caleb, which phases are ready at this point? I think I got an email actually, strangely, and it kind of came out of nowhere. You know what? I had to have had an account because I got an email out of nowhere from NativShark today. So I guess I did sign up a long time ago. I just don't remember signing up. But if I'm not mistaken, the email said that it happened like soon. All of phase 1 and phase 2 will start rolling out. All of phase 1 and then phase 2 will start rolling out in 2 weeks. All right. Note that if your server at a restaurant in Japan might not come by to check on you, you may need to press a call button that's at your table. Call out sumimasen or raise your hand to get their attention. Okay, now you know how to say water in Japanese, omizu. And you know how to say please give me something, kudasai. How then would we say water please, or could I get water please? That would be omizu kudasai. Boom. O mizu kudasai.
お水ください。
お水ください。
Boom. Omizu kudasai. If you're flying with a Japanese airline, try this out on the flight to Japan. Just press the call button. Repeat the phrase under your breath 16 times while you wait for the flight attendant to come to your seat. Press the call button again, and when no one comes, then panic and use English when someone finally shows up. Or be brave and emphatically state,
お水ください。
お水ください。
お水ください. Alright, since all we need to say is thing we want kudasai, we are able to order all kinds of things in Japanese as long as we know the Japanese words for those things. For example, in our lesson of saying I don't speak Japanese, we talk about the Japanese dish omorice. I don't even know what that is. This, I know that it was mentioned earlier, but this is actually a combination of the words omelet and rice. It's a dish you'll find in Japan consisting of an omelet made with fried rice and thin fried scrambled eggs, and usually topped with a ketchup-based sauce. Said in Japanese, the word sounds like
オムライス。
omorice.
オムライス。
Omorice. Since the word is a mashup of the foreign loan words for omelet and rice, i.e., since it's not a native Japanese or Chinese word, it gets written in katakana, the second of the Japanese syllabaries. Omuraisu. Yeah, I get confused on some of the like the R ones as well. Caleb says, for some context, I'm an N1 level student, but in NativShark I put myself as a mid phase 2 student. Wow. When you go to Japan, a lot of menu items will be written in katakana. As such, if you learn to read katakana, which we cover in our kana learning materials, you remember how to use kudasai. If you study this lesson, then you'll be able to order all kinds of food items in Japanese. Things that you want to order won't always be written in katakana, though, and sometimes you'll want to order something such as a delicious slice of cake you find in a department store basement by simply pointing at it. Or maybe the menu you're looking at has pictures, or maybe someone at the table next to you is eating something delicious looking. And something in this such case, just pull one of these words out of your Nihongo belt.
これ、
これ、
これ。
それ、
それ。
それ、
あれ、
あれ、
And note that the Japanese R sound falls somewhere between the English R and L sounds, with a little bit of a D sound sprinkled in there too. Messing this up is a common pronunciation mistake that we foreigners tend to make. If you can't be bothered worrying about that, at the very least I would recommend using the L sound over the R sound. It's not correct per se, but it sounds less strange to a native speaker's ears. When you want to request this or that in Japanese, all you need to say is
これください。
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 これください。それください。
それください。
それください。
あれください。
あれください。
Not too difficult, yeah? In each of the three previous sentences, we could have put the particle o, which we write in Roman characters as wo, but is actually closer to the pronunciation of o, before kudasai. The reason we didn't include o in the sentence above, and the reason that we don't include it in many sentences in which it could technically appear in our lessons, is that it is both common and natural to drop o from sentences. Since it's just a natural way to say these sentences without o, we're opting for the simple route and dropping it, but don't be surprised if your old school textbooks and teachers are always putting o between nouns and kudasai. Construction, noun, kudasai. Boom. Very cool. Let me see. I'm sure your suckage is still leagues above my inexistential level. I just got into times about that. Was how happy with his into and in one when he came to work at NativShark. I learned omorice from Legend of Heroes, a game. It's the only thing the main heroine Estelle can cook. It's funny. When you immerse, you can usually remember where you learned kanji. It's fun to be teaching the language so thoroughly it needed to be done. Wow, night owl like myself, good for you. Keep grinding. Haha, I skidded by the N2 and then skidded by the N1 with the exact amount of points needed to pass. That's nice. I'm preparing material for my next channel. I feel like it's a good product to promote. Where can I hit you when ready? Like 100% doing immersion. And remember the context you learned it in is the way to go. That's one of the core principles of the Nihongo Shark method. Glad to hear it. All right. Let's play. Oh, this is what were you talking about on here?
これどうぞ。これどうぞ。
どうもありがとうございます。
Somewhere you were talking about. I don't know if it was there or not. We're going to click continue. It might be. Here is a sentence that you already saw in a lesson. Sore kudasai. Try to recall what it means, then click show to answer it. Sore kudasai. That, please. Now we see the translation. A literal meaning for each word. A breakdown of how each word would look in a dictionary. Ooh, that's cool. This is useful for things like verbs, for sure. The topic of the lesson in which the sentence appeared. The formality of the sentence. You can also view a quick summary of the lesson that this came from. If you select I forgot, this flashcard will show up again very soon. If you didn't completely forget the meaning of the sentence, you can select how difficult it was. No need to overthink this, just go with your gut. Our system uses these ratings to schedule your flashcards to only show before you are in danger of forgetting them. Okay. Cool. Well, I know Sore kudasai pretty well. Omizu kudasai.
お水ください。
お水ください。
Omizu kudasai. Kore kudasai.
これください。
これください。
Are kudasai.
あれください。
あれください。
Otsukare kima desu. Good work. Okay, I was like, I don't remember that word. Okay. Otsukare. Otsukare sama desu. Okay. Glad to hear it, NativShark. Yeah, whenever I add flashcards to my deck, I always note where I found them. It helps a ton. That makes sense. You read a lesson earlier in your studies, so there are sentences from it that need to be reviewed. By reviewing them, this sticker will get filled. That shows we have maintained our progress today. Let's start by clicking the Study Now button, Study Next Unit button. All right. Well, I guess we're gonna do at least one more, and then we'll probably call it because it's after midnight now. So we're gonna do one more, and then we will go from there. All right. So try to guess how each of the ka, okay, cool, okay, cool. All right.
Ka.
Ka. All right. I know ka. That's the problem.
Ki.
Ki. I know ki as well.
Ku.
All right. Ku. I get confused on. Cocoon. Okay, that's ku. Cocoon. So everything's internal. Ku.
Ke.
Ke. Carrot. Ke. Okay.
Ko.
And call I'm fine with also. Alright. Voiced characters. They exist in katakana 2, and we use the same 2 dashes in the top right corner. So ka becomes ga.
Ga.
It's in the lesson body text. Seabolt speaks. You'll see some text that is in a faded purple color or on dark mode or in a blue color on light mode. If you hover over it, you'll be able to see the profile of the person who wrote that lesson. Oh, okay, that's cool. Ga.
Gi.
Gi.
Gu.
Whoops, didn't mean to skip that. Gu.
Ge.
Get.
Go.
Go. We just saw these characters. Let's see how well we know them. Go.
Go.
Get.
Ge.
Ga.
Ga.
That's the way my, well, ga or ka, whatever you want to say. That's the way it looks in hiragana. Like my edges are always like really sharp. Ki,
き
ko,
こ
gu,
ぐ
ka,
か
ke,
け
ku,
く
gi.
ぎ
Well done, you've learned your first set. If you're looking to celebrate, maybe a bit. Oh, keiki. That's cool. I should have.
ケーキ
Keiki. Note that the vowel sound of ke is drawn out for keiki.
ケーキ
Keiki. How to order multiples of things. Oh, okay. You can use hitotsu, one thing, futatsu, two things, and mitsu, three things, to specify how many of something you want to order by saying kore sore are itsu ni itsu hitotsu futatsu mitsu kudasai. Okay. How to order multiples of things. Numbers work quite differently in Japanese. Yeah, I actually just went through the Tango section of like days of the month. Like, for example, like the 6th is Muika, and that was confusing as crap to me. Yokka, all that stuff, man. That was so confusing. I mean, I don't have it down, but I've got it down much further than I did. But man. One difference is that in Japanese, there are multiple readings, i.e. pronunciations, for many numbers. The standard number readings used in most situations are derived from Chinese. You probably heard these before, though you may not have realized it. Ichi, ni, san. 1, 2, 3.
1、2、3。
1、2、3。
Ichi, ni, san. Then there are readings derived from native Japanese, for example, when stating the number of something in particular.
一つ、二つ、三つ。
一つ、二つ、三つ。
Yep. I'll talk about these later in this lesson. Okay. Another difference is that Japanese has counters. There are a variety of different suffixes that attach to numbers depending on the item that is being counted. For example, above we saw that ichi is 1. Yeah, well, one sheet of paper would be ichimai because mai is the counter, i.e. suffix, when used when talking about thin, flat things like sheets of paper. Yeah, because there was something that I learned also, which was futo or higaki? Higaki. I think it was Higaki wa sammai onegai shimasu. Like, I want 3 like postcards or something like that. Anyway. Okay, yeah, so I got that.
一枚。
Ichimai.
1枚
Ichimai. The counter would be different if we were talking about, say, beer. The word for beer in Japanese is biru.
ビール、
ビール、
Biru. We write it in katakana because it's a foreign loanword. Makes sense to me. Hero is he. Hiru. Biru. The 2 little marks at the top of the right are known as the H sound. Okay, that turns that to that. Note that when we have in a word, it means that we should hold the vowel. The previous kind of beat. In other words, biru is pronounced biru. Notice the extra e and not like biru, which would be the word biru for building. Yeah, I had a long time. It took me a long time
Biru.
to get that down.
ビール、
ビル、
ビール、
Anyway, if we were trying to say one beer, we might say
1杯、
yeah,
一杯、
ippai. Because pai is the counter used for cupfuls of things. And that is the kanji for cupfuls, actually. That I learned in RTK. Why are the sounds changing? First, I'll get this out of the way. The small circle at the top right, pa, turns the H sound into a P sound. So ha turns to pa. Second, if you're especially observant, you may have noticed that instead of saying ichi-hai, which is not a word, and merged together, it makes ippai. Note that the small tu is indicating that we make a slight pause at the P sound and pa, so it's ippai and not ippai. Are you new to learning Japanese? No, well, I've off and on studied Japanese for about 10 years, and I took it serious. Like when I first started, I took it serious for a very short period of time. Then I took a bunch of years off, and then I've taken it. I've studied 3 weeks or a month here or there, and then in April, I said that I was done screwing around, that I was going to learn Japanese. So I started April 1st. I started using Matt versus Japan's mass immersion approach, and that has helped me tremendously. I've made so much progress in the last 4.5 months. So I've been studying it, but I've been studying it. I've probably studied more in these last 4.5 months than I had in the previous almost 10 years of studying. And then I'm also doing a thing. It's one of my friends, Mark, who runs a YouTube channel called Language Come Up. He started something called the 40-hour 7-day language challenge, which is where you just get 40 hours of study in a week. And I have a full-time job and a wife and a kid, and so I told him I was going to meet him in the middle, and I said, I'm going to do 40 hours, but I'm just going to have 20 hours of it. At least 20 hours is going to be active study, and then 20 hours can come from passive listening to, increase my listening skills and stuff like that. And so I've been doing that this is my sixth week, doing 40 plus hours. I have a spreadsheet right here. So I've got, since July the 6th, I've put in 238 hours of Japanese, with 125 hours of that being active. So, but yeah. Hopefully that hopefully that wasn't way too much information for you. Sorry. Makes sense. Hiragana is hard. Hiragana took me a little while. I got hiragana. I've known hiragana for a while, and I still would read it from time to time just to do it. But I don't know. Let me see. Bye. There's something that happens quite a lot in Japanese words when we connect certain sounds together. It might seem a bit odd when you first encounter it, but after a while, these sound changes feel rather intuitive. Tango in 5 or no? Yes, I'm almost done with well, not almost done. I've got a little over 300 cards left in the Tango in 5 deck. What if we're talking about a bottle of beer? In that case, we would also use the counter hon, which is used for long cylindrical items. Ippon.
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 Yeah. Here we are merging of sounds once again. Here we see a merging of sounds once again. It's not ichihon, it's ippon. Kanji lovers may find it interesting that the kanji hon is not only used as a counter for long cylindrical objects, it can also mean book or origin. That's why Nihon, Japan, can be taught as the sun origin, the land of the rising sun. Finally, it is impossible to just use the general counter, which consists of attaching to the end of native Japanese numbers, like hitotsu. Hitotsu. So it's the g of Chinese. JP immersion, give NativShark a try, sir. Yeah, the way that the teaching method is really, really cool. Stop. I can't learn all this information at once. Yeah, I feel you. While all the stuff explained above is useful to know, you certainly don't need to memorize any of it just yet. I recall being very stressed about learning Japanese numbers and counters back in the day. I studied a lot, forgot most of what I learned, then just got good at numbers and counting naturally as I got exposed to more Japanese over the years, so let's not sweat it. Now, let's get to the purpose of this lesson. How to order multiple things in Japanese. You may recall how to order /ask for this, that, and that over there. Kore kudasai. Let's get that
これく
audio.
ださい。
これください。
That's one thing that I do when I study. No matter if I know the phrase by heart, if there's audio, I will listen to it every time.
それください。
それください。
あれください。
あれください。
You can use hitotsu, futatsu. Okay, we already read that. Look, showing 3 things there. All right, let's say that you want to order just one of something. To do this, you could insert hitotsu, one thing.
これ一つください。
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 これ一つください. But sometimes just one isn't enough. Maybe you're ordering something, some particularly tasting looking treats, and you want 2 of them. In that case, you could use futatsu.
それ2つください。
それ2つください.
それ2つください。
Or maybe you're traveling with 2 friends and each of you would like to try something. In that case, you'll want to order mitsu.
あれ3つください。
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 あれ3つください. What if you want to order more than 3 of something? Well, in that case, you'll have to go learn a bit more about numbers. Worry not. We'll get to all of them in time. All right, cool. I would say that I would say that I know that all that stuff really, really well. Yeah, I'm comfortable with that.
Beer どうぞ。
ありがと
Alright, simple enough. Show note. Out in the wild, Japanese won't always sound the way you expect it to. While it's clear to a native speaker that a person A is saying biru and not biru, at native speed it sounds to many students like biru. Additionally, people shorten all kinds of words. That's why arigato becomes arigato, here a common abbreviation. Also, like dash putting that after a kana indicates that its final vowel should be elongated. The tilde, I think is what that's called, tend to give off a more friendly or carefree feeling than the dash. You'll develop a sense of these nuances as you get more exposure. I am cool with that. Browsing? No, I'm not browsing.
ビールどうぞ。
う。ありがと
Alright. Okay. これ一つください.
これ一つください。
これ一つください。
Give NativShark a shot. GP immersion. Making things Oxford is my specialty. Ask Seabolt, but I don't know if he even knows who I am. He's getting too famous. That's ridiculous. I like that the native audio have different voices as well. Oh yeah, that's huge to me.
これ一つください。
これ一つください。
The other thing that I like is, and I know this is kind of a thing that people go back and forth on, but I actually really, really like that it's spoken at what I would assume is a native speed. It's not slowed down. Like, I like that this will be something to the effect of Aremitsu kudasai.
あれ3つください。
Alright, that one was a little slow.
あれ3つください。
Alright, that was a little bit faster, but it seems like it's spoken a little bit faster. I like the native sorry, there's an issue currently where reviews aren't resetting properly. At the reset time, you've configured it. I'm working on fixing this. Okay. There's a bug with the timing of reviews that caused a return to browsing you just saw. Okay, cool. Yeah. It's no problem. それ2つください.
それ2つください。
Whoa.
それ2つください。
Yeah, there we go. What just happened was when it was navigating to your dialogue, your reviews came back up, so the system took you to those instead. Okay. Otsukare sama desu. There we go. Okay.
ビールどうぞ。
ありがと
Arigato. Next. There we go. And that is complete. That one review you see in the top right of your reviews is just a bug too. Fix coming soon. Cool. Hey, I don't have any issues, man. I mean, it's, you know, it's seems to be working pretty fine. I mean, you know, just I can live with minor little bugs like that. Do you have the Lonely Student Blues? You can connect with students of all backgrounds along with the entire Nihongo Shark team. You'll find many like-minded people going through a journey similar to yours. This is Jeremy. Boom. Alright, let's go here. The male-female dual audio is a nice touch. I agree. I 100% agree. Alright, man. We are moving on through here. So I think I am going to end that here just because, I mean, it's 12:30 in the morning here, and I'll have to get up with my son in the morning. But I'm probably going to continue using this, obviously. What does this sell? View subscriptions. Oh, this is where, yeah, it's on sale. Okay, gotcha. 3 months free. Good lord. That's pretty crazy. I'm going to do this. I'll have to do monthly though, just because of it's just easier to do. Cool. Yeah. It's also cool, guys. If you want to check this out, you can sign up to NativShark, and you can get the 7-day free trial, and you don't have to put payment information in and then cancel. Like, you get the free trial when you sign up, and then you can choose. I think that's a really, really cool. I think that's a really cool thing, because a lot of places are like, oh, cool, yeah, like, you know, sign up, but give us your information now. And this, you get the 7 free days right out of the gate, and I think that's really, really cool. Thanks for streaming this. We have taken a lot of notes about usability and various issues that we saw crop up. Yeah, no problem. I plan, as long as you all are cool, I plan on streaming this from time to time. I really think that this is cool, and I'm really excited to get into the later parts of it, getting into like some of the grammatical things, and just some, you know, where I'm kind of at the level that I'm at. I think a mixture of this is going to be. I think it's gonna work pretty well. So, but yeah, I'll probably do. I don't know, man. I'll probably do the premium because I really like the. I didn't think I was gonna be a huge fan of it just because it wasn't something I was necessarily looking into, but the shadow loops and the pitch visualizer I think are really, really cool. I really, really like those. This is really, really cool, super cool. You know, super cool features. So, absolutely, yeah, cool, yeah. And like I said, as long as you all are cool, I'm gonna stream that and all that. Yeah, thanks for letting us know. Feel free to announce your streams in our Discord and our media channel. This was fun to watch. Yeah, no, I can do that. It was a lot of fun to watch. Looking forward to more of these. Nice stream as usual, Seabolt. Thanks. I mean, I didn't expect, like, I know that my streams generally do okay, but I figured normally I will announce them a little bit, and I was still not 100% sure, and then I usually start at 9, and then I didn't start until 9:30, and I was like, I'm not even sure if people are going to pop in, but it's been a super lively stream, and everybody's been super cool. And like I said, I think before I do the next stream, I will be through with the kana lessons, so then we'll jump right into, you know, getting down some of the kanji stuff, like these other units, and I think that's going to be that'll be helpful. So it looks like, well, even making A as B sentences, it looks like it's still going to be a lot of review stuff. How to use Yoroshiku? Well, fair enough. I mean, that's something that people struggle with still. So it looks like there's going to be some review, and then there's going to be some stuff that I don't. So here's itadakimasu. Just glancing through here. O kudasai masenka. O kudasai masenka. So I think it's going to be cool. First stream. Good night, Seabolt. Good night, Ahmed. Thank you for joining. Riker, thanks for joining. Ethan Entertainment, first stream I've ever tuned into of yours. That is pretty sick. Cool. I appreciate that. Yeah, I try to stream. I'm a big fan of streaming. I do stream interviews and stuff like that, But I've gotten so focused into my Japanese studies that I haven't streamed quite as many interviews lately. But it's just I've been going so hard on my Japanese. So, oh, and all you all from Nihongo Shark, I'm gonna email you right after this and send you Lindy's email address to talk to her about the Afrikaan stuff. I think somewhere around between Unit 50 is when I'll start being mostly new content for you. Around 30 to 40, I bet you still have a lot of that down. Cool, yeah, I'm excited to see it. And everybody watching, if you made it this far, if you're watching later, if you're watching live, if you made it this far, NativShark is in the description below, or you can just go to nativshark.com. NativShark. Take care. Thanks for streaming our platform. Absolutely, no problem. Hey, thanks everybody. I'm going to let me see. What did that do? Okay, yeah. I want to put my dashboard back up there. But yeah, thank you all for joining, and I will see you all hopefully soon. I got to do my RTK stream or my RTK update video, so I will do that. But yeah, thanks everybody so much. It was a super fun time, and by the time I start next time, I will be a little bit further into this. That way we can continue on. So thanks everybody, and I will see you all very soon.